find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hello, Hauntlings, and welcome back to our listener library. We're so glad that you could join us for Chapter 2, where we're going to take a look at a couple of spooky houses that test the boundaries of human bravery. Hi guys, we are so excited because we actually have some content for our part 2, book 2, chapter 2, that one, of our listener library. Woohoo! Lindsay has some stories. Yes, yay. Lindsay has some stories that she's going to present to us today. We have about 3 of them, so it's going to be a shorter episode, but we are so excited to get it out to you. But before we get into that, we do have a couple of things, as always, because we're growing, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
The first thing is, yesterday was Lindsay's birthday. Woo! Happy birthday, Lindsay.
Thanks.
She sounds so enthusiastic. So yeah, yesterday was Lindsay's birthday. We went out of town. We visited some family. It was fun. It was a good time. She had some cake for breakfast. Delicious.
Yeah, I'm not regretting that decision at all.
I don't know if that was sarcastic or not. Additionally, as we have mentioned before, our Discord is finally up. We have a couple of members in our server. If you follow us on social media, you may have seen our meme made by and I will bleep that name out if I do not get permission to say the name because I didn't ask before recording this. But he made us a meme and I thought it was great. I was so excited. So if you guys want to join our Discord server, you can go click on the link in our About Me. We also have a Patreon now.
Yay.
So if you feel so inclined, we would really appreciate it if you guys would donate to us, help support us. That money goes into things like better equipment. You know, we can start buying maybe some foam paneling for our walls. We can maybe get some better mics. These mics are okay, but there's, you know, I've just stopped trying to battle the echo problem. You guys all know about the great echo monster. So, and of course, if you guys don't donate to the Patreon, that's fine. We will continue to bring you guys free content because we love you and we just want to give you guys something good to listen to.
But there are some perks if you do decide to.
There are perks and you can get on there. You can see what the perks are for free. You don't have to be a member to see what the perks are. So that is going to be patreon.com/midnightpodcast24. And it has our logo on it, so you'll know if you're on the right page. And again, the link is in our About Me. Additionally, next week, you guys, we have something super exciting for you. I'm not going to tell you who, but we're going to have a special guest on our show.
That's right.
We just met with her yesterday. We're not going to give you all the details, even though I'm so excited and I really want to give them to you. I will tell you, she has been on Ghost Adventurers. She has been on Coast to Coast AM podcast. You know, she's been on a few things. So stay tuned for that. That's super cool. That'll be our episode next Friday. So make sure you guys tune in for that. I think that that's all we have. Is that all?
I believe so. I will reiterate that if you haven't yet, I encourage you to join the Discord because if you do decide to join our Patreon, there are going to be some bonus content that you will unlock, and not just on Patreon itself, but in Discord, as well. Yeah.
Additionally, if you have a Discord, Lindsay's right, it would be a good idea for you to join. That was cheddar. But it would be a good idea for you guys to join because, as you know, we weren't able to keep our Facebook up. We got taken down.
Right.
But it's easier for us to keep up with Discord. We're both on Discord quite frequently. You know, it's on our phones. It's easier to keep up with than our socials. So you're going to be getting frequent updates there. You know, if there's an episode cancellation or something gets pushed back.
Yeah, I say it'd probably be posted or announced in the server first before everywhere else.
Right. So if you have a Discord, I encourage you to join it. You just click on that link in our About Me. Oh, wow. This intro's terrible. I'm so sorry, guys. It's everywhere. We're kind of we're winging it because Lindsay has to get ready for work in less than an hour. So we're really just trying to get something out for you guys. You know, it was birthday week, so we didn't get to sit down and do a whole lot of recording this week. I was last week, Lindsay's this week. But one thing I do want to mention with Patreon, if you do donate, you guys will get your gifts. I do ask that you be patient because they are made to order.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are made to order. So when you guys place the order, everything will be made. You know, we've already discussed this with people who are collaborating with us on making these things. So it might be a minute, but as soon as it ships out, I don't know if there's a way for us to give you your tracking number or not. So it will be made to order. And without further ado, I think we're ready to get into some spooky stories. What you got for me, Lindsay?
Okay, so this first story came in from our ever so wonderful mod in our server,
who is also our co-researcher, who is also helping us make our stickers and things that you will get from the Patreon.
Yes.
That is V. Thank you, V.
The title of the story that she sent in is called Spooky House.
That sounds like like the name to a cheesy children's Halloween movie. I love it.
It does. And I haven't actually read this whole thing yet, so I'm going to be listening with you at the same time. So this will be an experience for all of us.
Woohoo!
Okay, here's the context. I grew up in Florida, about an hour north of Orlando. We moved frequently, so the city always varied within Lake County.
Lake County?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still waking up.
We're recording at a different... I just switched first shift, so now we record during the day, and Lindsay, wakes up late, so...
Within Lake County.
It's still coffee time.
Yes. This particular situation happened in Mount Dora, Florida. My great-grandparents had a house and lived there for many years during their marriage. My great-grandmother even babysat me when I was really little. One of the earliest memories was crawling around on the floor and snacking on a handful of dog food.
I did that too. It's fine. I used to hide. I had a Barney chair with little teeth. Guys, this is gross. I'm so sorry. We all did dumb stuff as kids. I wasn't even in kindergarten though, and I would hide dog food under the teeth of the Barney chair so that I could snack on it.
That's funny. I never did that, but...
Oh, good for you. I know what dog food tastes like.
I had sisters who did, so...
Oh, okay, good. So this is apparently normal among small children.
Okay, so no judgment there. It was never a scary place, even after she passed there. My great-grandfather moved out, and a little while after, the house was empty. We lived there for a little bit. It was the house in the family that used to go...
Everyone
that
used
was
to go
used
to.
when the family needed a place to go to. After we found somewhere else, my uncle moved in, stayed for a bit with his various girlfriends and friends, then moved out.
Wow, uncle.
Long story short, when I was an adolescent, we lived there again for the second time, and it was an entirely different house.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We don't know for sure what went on in the house that changed it. We have ideas, but none of them are sustained, so we'll just say that they may have been that bad energy may have been drawn in one way or another.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't know who Uncle Joe was bringing in and out.
That's true.
You know?
I can't remember anything starting me immediately, and I honestly do not remember the order of things as they happened or progressed. So I will just list the events that I do remember, starting with the signs of what I recognize on what we were dealing with. This sounds...
spoopy.
It sounds really ominous.
Yes, it does.
First, in my mother's room, she hated her closet right away. Just got a bad feeling from it.
Me too. Except it's the door between the bathroom and the bedroom, so I get it, Mom.
Yeah, that's true. So she ended up taking off the closet doors because it felt so strange at night, like something was hiding behind them.
That I'd keep those closet doors up. I don't want it.
Like the Babadook. Once she did, it didn't make her feel better because it was dark.
Open and looking at you? Yeah, I got you.
It was like something crawling and moving in the darkness. She tried to paint in there to make it brighter, but it never helped. Not to mention the closet was colder than the rest of the house.
Oh no.
And it had a really bad smell.
Oh, what?
Mold? Mildew? No matter how many times she bleached it and cleaned it, couldn't get rid of that smell. Jeez.
Lindsay's over there, her face. She's like, oh my god.
Nowhere else in the house was like that. Those were her words. But she said that she smelled it too.
That's disgusting. I feel like there's a dead thing in there, except not. No body. Just like the essence of death. So sorry you had to deal with that weirdness. I think when they come with bad smells like that, I personally believe they're demonic.
I 100% feel that too.
I'm not an expert, but I've never encountered just like a dead human who smelled. You know what I mean?
I've always heard that demons leave
awful smells
too, usually. Yeah. Like the smell of decay or
even
sulfur.
Like good entities can leave smells behind. Like I've heard like if you have an angelic presence visiting, you'll smell like strawberries.
Oh.
You know, so yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. We're not done yet. That was just the first part of this.
Yeah, this is a long one.
Oh, yeah.
Buckle up, guys.
All right. Every so often, around dusk, when there was just enough sun still in the sky to see outside, it was starting to get dark. I would be in the kitchen and look out the only window in the house that showed the backyard fully. We had an average-sized yard with tall fences. And somehow, there would be a large black dog in the backyard.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a demon. It's a demon. Lindsay and I just had this discussion last week. She said, aren't black dogs demons?
And they're like usually associated with hellhounds.
Yeah. Now, not always, you know, like I had a dog named Bowser who passed away, and he hung around for a while because he used to like lay in front of the doors, and you would see like a black mass under the door, you know, so not necessarily all black dogs, but seeing manifested black dogs whenever you have bad energy in your home can be a sign of a demonic presence. So.
Oh boy. It was German Shepherd-like in appearance. I would see it walking or standing, but after a little bit, it would look into the window, like it was looking right at me. Eyes reflecting the light in a bright orange.
That was another thing I was going to say, is usually they look like they have like fire behind their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Which I think I told you in the car the other night when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I've heard that hellhounds have like red or orangey eyes.
Yeah.
None of the neighbors owned this dog that we knew of. So.
Not unless your freaking neighbor is named Lucifer. Okay.
You look out your window, Lucifer's just like, hey guys, how's it going?
Cerberus and...
Don't mind the dog.
Yeah, Cerberus and Lucifer's dog getting together for puppy play dates once a week. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll clean up after him. I brought my poop bags. You guys, you don't even know. His shit smells like sulfur. It is terrible.
Would it just like combust? Like right after the dog?
What?
You think it'd be so hot because it's a demon dog, right?
So it combusts?
It just like... Yeah.
No, what if that's how coal's made? What if coal is just like...
Oh, God, that's worse.
Hellhound poop.
Just cold down turds. Beautiful.
Well, anyway, I think we solved your smell problem in the house. It's just the demon dog, you know, pooping.
Okay.
Lay down some puppy pads.
All right. The black dog was strange because we could barely keep animals in that house. Any animal we kept in that house...
Don't say they died.
...was psychotic or did everything they could to get out.
Oh, okay, good. I mean, not good, but I'm glad they weren't dying, you know?
Cats were aggressive and hostile, always ran away and never came back. We had a yellow lab and a Dalmatian that would never want to stay in the yard, always escaping. The neighbor's gentle, sweet golden retriever that knew me and always cuddled with me got into our front yard one day. He was just staring at our house. When I approached him to bring him home, he reared up and bit me on my face.
Oh, wow.
Gashed my cheek near my ear and ran home.
Oh my God.
Well, she says that her great-grandma had dogs in the house before and never had problems. So this happened.
Yeah,
It started happening after they moved in for the second time.
Right.
After Uncle John was there.
Right.
What were you up to?
Or what were your girlfriends up to?
Yeah.
We're not judging your uncle. We don't know your uncle, but we don't know what kind of people he had coming in and out of the house.
That's true. That's true.
Hello, this is Michelle, the host of Haunted Moonlight, a Podmoth Network podcast. If you are like me and enjoy anything and everything spooky, then this podcast is for you. New episodes drop every Sunday and are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Can't wait to keep it spooky with you.
Some guests were unsettled in our house, most commonly in mine and my sister's bedroom. My step-grandfather described the room as heavy and dark, and he was usually insensitive and uncaring about most things. One day, he stopped just inside the door and turned to my mother, saying, "You need to get the girls out of this room." Oh, God. Again, this is my mother's retelling. Oh, by this time, she knew something was wrong with the house. But the reason we were there is because we had nowhere else to go at the time. Man, that's rough.
Well, and that's common. A lot of people who are in haunted houses or houses with bad energy, they don't have the money to just up and move.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I know that feeling. When we moved into my
Your grandmother's
house, I have some stories on that. I'll save for another time, but oh boy, here we go.
What do you mean, here we go? We've not been going?
No, because there's more. But wait, there's more.
Oh my God.
That should be a voice actor.
I think you should be advertising like infomercials.
I had the thought last night, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I should have gotten a communications college and been a radio host.
Oh my God. You're kind of radio hosting now.
I guess.
And you didn't even
count as radio?
I think podcasting counts as radio.
It's the modern radio show.
It's modern radio. Yeah. We're not playing music, but we are kind of recording in a makeshift studio.
Yeah. Yes. I used to have a plush bear that looked a lot like the Snuggle Bear.
I don't know what the Snuggle Bear is.
Fabric softener bear.
Oh, the Snuggle
Bear.
Fabrics. Okay, Snuggle the Bear. Got it.
Yeah.
I was like, what is the Snuggle Bear?
I swear it was the same bear, but I don't remember. Anyway, it sat on a shelf near my bed, and some nights the thing would just pop off. Not fall. It would, be booped off. Those are her words.
I know that's
booped off.
I know that's supposed to, that's freaky, but booped off, popped up, that makes me think of, booping a dog in the nose, boop.
Yeah, I kind of know what they're talking, or what she's talking about, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
like it jumped off.
Yeah. All right, you can tell when something loses its balance, or if it's smacked or lurches off.
Yeah, like how it falls off. You can tell how it comes off.
Yeah, because usually they fall forward.
Yeah. You had that one above the bed.
Oh my God, bendy! It was bendy.
It was fucking bendy.
It was a bendy doll.
And if you don't know what bendy is, it's a horror video game. It's not super scary until you buy your wife some bendy dolls and you set them above her bed, and the same one falls off all the time. And when you move it and set a different doll up there to test it and see if it's the guy in the other room hitting the wall, that one doesn't frickin' fall off.
Nope, it was just bendy, and he would always end up on the bed or on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, and we had put other things in that area to test it to see if it was vibrations in the wall, but he was the only one that fell off.
From my memory, some of the nights that this happened, I had dreams that the bear was climbing up my bed and killing me in different ways. Commonly claws in the throat, like Freddy Krueger bear.
Ooh!
In the morning, the bear would be back on the shelf, as if nothing had happened, whether anyone else was awake before me or not. I hated that bear for specific reasons prior to this happening. So to have something that you hated already jump off the shelf in real time, kill you in a dream time, then be staring at you innocently again in the morning was unsettling.
I would say so.
I never told anyone because the reasons I hated the bear were associated with trauma, and I was terrified of touching it. Oh, I don't blame you. That's
rough.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm always a little skeptical about anything that is said to have the spirit living inside of it.
But not him.
No. Because, I was going to say, because here recently I found that not all of them are bad. So
we have adopted a spirit vessel, a little girl named M, who had a very traumatic death, and Lindsay was a little leery when I brought her into the house, but I was like, no, it's fine, and it is fine, and she's a very sweet little ghost. So if something is haunted, guys, it's not always bad.
Although it is not uncommon, I've heard that like demonic presences will take home, like make a home inside like a stuffed toy or a doll or something.
And the reason that spirits will do this is because this is the closest object to like what a human body is. So it's got appendages, it's got eyes, it's got a face,
right?
You know? So that's why different entities will take home in these vessels that are, and it's not always vessels that have limbs, you know, sometimes they'll like be attached to jewelry or whatever, but so it's not really that uncommon. And that's where you get like haunted dolls and stuffed animals and stuff, but they are not all negative. There are good ones. There are, you know, just people without bodies who had a traumatic death and can't pass on.
Right.
But your snuggle bear sounds terrible.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 would yeet that thing out the window.
Yes. Only for it to climb back in.
No. At that point, we're burning it with fire. And salt.
Yeah. Salty fire. That's a hellhound fart.
Okay. I never sleepwalked before living there or after, but it was a common thing when I was there. Again, this is mostly my mother's retelling. According to her, I would get up at various times in the middle of the night and stand in the doorway of her bedroom. I would just stare into her room. My mom always was a light sleeper, and she said she would feel eyes on her. Seeing me in the hallway, she would ask me what I needed. I would tell her that I need to go to the bathroom. Every time she would take me to the bathroom, but have to help me as if I was not even potty trained.
Holy cow.
I didn't even usually go to the bathroom. I would just sit there until she asked if I was done. She had to help me with every step. She said my eyes were glazed over, and my voice was not normal. She said one time she saw me standing there and fell back to sleep, attempting to see what would happen if she would just let me stand there. She woke up again at least an hour later, and I was still standing there. In addition, one time I walked outside in my sleep, my intended destination being the street from where I pointed at. I only woke up one time mid-sleepwalk. I was at the edge of the kitchen, headed towards the hallway with all the lights off, and an item in my hand.
Don't say it was a knife. Don't say it was a knife.
I turned the light on so I could see.
Don't
all
say
the
it was a knife.
utensil drawers were open.
No.
The item in my hand.
No, you're wrong. No. It was a spoon.
Was a knife.
It was a spoon.
That's terrifying.
It was a spoon?
That's absolutely terrifying.
You spelled spoon wrong, V.
That reminds me of a really old video where it's like the worst death of the world. It's like, obviously it's like a parody video.
Yeah.
Funny video. But the guy had a spoon and he was like just gently tapping this person over and over again
until
with the
they
spoon.
died.
No, and he was like following him everywhere, just tapping with them with the spoon. Yeah. It was like the worst murderer ever.
Oh, when you said the worst death ever, I was thinking it was going to be like a terribly slow death, but no, the guy just sucks him at killing. Okay, I got it. It makes me think of salad fingers for some reason. I don't know why.
I think of like any horror movie with a child in it where
that
parents,
is a very tropey. Like, sorry, you're a little tropey. Your story's tropey. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I can't remember like a specific title, but I can picture a scene where like the parent wakes up and then like a light flashes or like thunderstorming or something, and then you see a silhouette.
Kids just standing there with a knife hanging out of their hand.
Yeah, with a knife. Yeah.
Oh, that's spooky.
And then the lightning flashes and they're gone.
I hate that. That ain't right.
Yeah, no, that is terrifying. That does sound like a mild possession.
Yeah.
And I really hope it didn't last because possession can be really scary.
Yes, it can.
Moving on to the next bit. These are like bullet points in this.
Oh, okay.
Bullet point. Next bit. I'm not sure if it's related, but a lot of our family's various health problems started there or worsened.
I'm going to tell you right now it was related.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You got hellhounds, possessions.
Even negative human entities can have a massive effect on human health. And like realistically, unless you're trying to help the spirit pass on, or the spirit is just like, the spirit's an okay spirit who just hasn't passed on because they don't want to, it can be like very detrimental. It can be bad for you and the spirit. Like, so yeah, I can guarantee whatever we're about to hear, it's related.
Regardless, my sister's health is relevant. My sister's epilepsy was so bad, she could have upwards of 7 seizures or more a day.
God.
A day.
That is horrifying.
She had to be on a feeding tube to get enough nutrients.
Oh, jeez, that's sad.
That is awful. I hope we were able to get out of this house and, like, recover.
Yeah, me too.
The bathroom was an unsettling place. My mom often talked about feeling watched and being touched when she showered. Because my sister was so young and seizure-ridden, we took baths together so that I could help keep an eye on her while she wanted to play in the water.
Make sure she ain't having seizures in the bathtub.
Right. One time she was sitting relaxed in the bath, and I watched as her eyes started to glaze over and a seizure started.
Oh, no.
As her body began to stiffen, her little body was folded like a lawn chair.
Oh.
Her face pushed under the water. Oh, my God. Now, the way she was sitting and how she was starting to see, she was going backward. It's unreasonable to me, like she suddenly randomly flew forwards.
Ooh, that sounds like something took over. I know she said seizure, but that's just what it sounds like to me. But I've also never like witnessed a seizure in person, so I can't really like say what they look like, you know?
I don't think the eyes usually glaze over.
No, I don't know.
I've witnessed somebody like starting to have a seizure, and it's like they like freeze.
Yeah.
And then they get like, well, he didn't actually start to seize because we caught it in time. But I noticed something was wrong because he just stopped talking mid-sentence and froze up.
Yeah, that's what, so like my papa had a seizure. I wasn't there to witness it, but that's what they described. They said basically he was like scooping the butter out and putting it in the sugar, and like he just stopped. He was just like repeating himself, just scooping the butter into the sugar over and over again. So, yeah.
I would normally pick my sister up just fine, even seizing, but as hard as I pulled on her shoulders, I could barely lift her.
Oh my God.
I don't even remember if I got her face out of the water, but it happened so fast. I was screaming, and my mom ran from the kitchen into the bathroom. My sister felt like something was pushing her under and holding her there while she convulsed.
Oh my God.
But the moment my mom rounded the corner and bolted into the room, the weight was gone, and I was able to pull her up. Good, my mom took her out of the tub altogether.
That is so fucking scary.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I hate that.
Yeah, at that point, I'd be like, you know what? We're gonna go
live in a box under a bridge. I don't give a fuck.
We're gonna go live in a shelter for a little while.
Yeah, something. That is scary.
That's
an attack, like a physical attack on your child. That's scary. I'm so sorry you guys had to deal with that.
And to have the strength to hold.
Yeah, that takes a lot of energy.
Yes. My brother was really little at the time, and we had to be careful with the front door because he was adventurous, and there was a high first step to get into the house. The door was always closed and locked. Normally this situation could be tossed up to an accident, but with everything else that happened, it's curious how a previously locked door was pushed open by a toddler, allowing him to fall on his face.
Oh, yeah. It's a little coinky-dinky? I don't think so.
Yeah, after hearing what happened with sister?
Yeah.
Nah. Coincidence? I think not.
Right.
Alright, here's the last bullet point. My mom used to have these repetitive dreams where she would be walking through the house and stop at the bathroom. We had a full-body mirror on the door, and she would stand there in front of it, surrounded by the same crawling dark that she described in her closet. In the dream, she recognized her grandma and my great-grandma appearing behind her and wrapping her arms around her, making my mom feel safe and protected.
That's exactly what I thought.
She told me about these dreams years later, and it freaked me out because I had a similar one when we were living there, with Nana taking my hand and leading me through the dark. This dream happened after the sleepwalking knife situation. Sounds like Grandma and Great-Grandma were trying to protect them from whatever.
Sounds like it. I'm watching over them. Ancestral guardians.
She finishes up with, "That's all I can remember. Honestly, we were all quite glad to be out of there and truly thankful that nothing worse had the chance to happen. Since then, there has been extensive gutting and remodeling of the home."
Oh, that's not good either. You know what happens when you gut a home.
I think the home needs a blessed, in my opinion.
I think that shit needs knocked down. Well, V, we are glad that you are alive and well today and that everybody survived because you have been a delight in our lives.
Yeah, you called that a spooky house? I would have called that a house of horrors.
Yes. Yes. That is not a cheesy, spooky children's Halloween movie. That comes out in February and people talk about it for a year after it's released. Okay.
Yeah, this is like trauma-inducing.
That's like Amityville horror shit.
This is nightmare fuel.
Yeah. So, thanks for that submission, V. Okay, so we have another submission. And we're going to go ahead and delve into that.
This one comes from my friend Ozzy.
Hello, Ozzy. I used to have a cat named Ozzy. We called him Ozymandias after the... Is he a god or is he a king? I don't know, but he's in the anime Fate. If y'all have never seen that, you'd check it out. It's good. Except for Apocalyptica. Wait,
Apocrypha.
I hated that one. Anyway, all the other ones are good. Bye. Tell me Ozzy's story.
Okay, so I want to... Wow. I want to preface this by saying that he lived near the Lizzie Borden house / and cemetery, indoor cemetery.
Okay.
So this is where this story takes place.
Ooh. Exciting.
I also have not read this one either, so. I lived in Fall River, Massachusetts, where she was buried. So me, learning more about her and he was told about her gravesite.
What?
Yeah.
No, I didn't understand what you said.
So they were learning more about her, and they were told about her gravesite.
Okay.
So this is at the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
My friend and I, at the time, wanted to go give it a visit, like at 1 a.m. in the morning. Sounds like a good idea.
That's a good time to visit a graveyard, I guess.
We had no idea where in the yard she exactly was, and there were no lights in the graveyard.
Okay, got it. Old graveyard, no
Old
lights.
Graveyard.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We had lights on our phones, and that's it.
Okay.
We were walking through the dark, cracking jokes because we are walking around the dead. That's always fun. Dark humor. Good old dark humor.
We're cracking jokes because we're walking around the dead. Oh my God.
Are you sure it's not because you're spooked?
Right.
You're like trying to make yourself feel better.
Take the tension off.
Yeah, I do that. It's okay. Now, up ahead by this old limber, decaying looking tree, we see this thing. I saw it first and was like, what the fuck is that? A deer?
No, that is something coming and saying, you put some respect on my name and quit cracking stupid jokes.
Oh boy, wait till you hear what this thing sounds like.
Oh no. It has a sound?
What it looks like.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, it talks?
So they said, is that a deer? The thing was...
It's gonna look like a Wendigo.
Tall as fuck, had long legs like a deer, but the head of a dog.
How tall is...
I don't know. Tall as fuck.
Okay. The head of a dog and the legs of a deer?
The head was low, and the reason we know this is because the reflection of light came from its eyes, and they were glowing.
Oh no!
Its ears were pointed up, and the shape was like a Doberman.
Okay,
but the legs were just longer than usual.
What the fuck?
It suddenly jolted in our direction, and we took off running.
Ew.
So is this another like black dog scenario?
I don't know. Is it bipedal? It sounds like it's bipedal. If it's bipedal, that ain't no... Have you ever seen a bipedal?
No, it said it had long legs like a deer, but it had the head of a dog. So it was like a really tall-ass dog.
So does it have 4 legs? So, okay. I was imagining like
something standing. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, this is a 4-legged creature. Just with
But the legs were just like weirdly
weird long legs.
Okay.
We ran fast and looked behind us to see that it was completely gone.
What the
fuck?
fuck?
Out of thin air.
Oh my God.
Needless to say, after running the way we did, there was this huge monument featuring Lizzie Borden, and we didn't even care. We just shuffled our way through the dark and out of the other side of the graveyard. Once we were able to find the path back.
We didn't even care. Like,
you're like, this
that.
shit, I'm out. That, all this. I don't want to know where she's buried anymore.
Oh my God.
So it sounds like this was another sighting of the black dog type deal.
What kind of black dog has 10-foot legs?
I don't know. What do you think it was?
I don't know if it was... Because here's the thing about cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
Cemeteries are generally hollowed ground.
Yeah.
Which means nothing bad can actually go into a cemetery. Because they are blessed grounds. They are resting places. It's not like just like a mass grave.
Right.
You know, which can be, negative. This is hollowed ground. Cemeteries are generally like taken care of before, people are prayed over before they're buried. So it's not to say that they're not haunted, but you were there at a late hour.
Yes.
You were cracking jokes. That really could have been some sort of cemetery guardian.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting also that this happened to be the graveyard that Lizzie Borden was buried in.
Well, and, I've heard that her house is very haunted.
Oh, yeah. They actually, Ozzy mentioned after the story that they used to walk by the house that she lived in on their way to school every day.
Yeah, okay. That's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as the cemetery goes, I think it had to be some sort of cemetery guardian. You're in the cemetery at 1 a.m. You're goofing around. You probably really shouldn't be there. And I don't know why you were there. You could have been like ghost hunting or whatever. And generally guardians will take that sort of thing very seriously. These people are resting. They're sleeping. And, they usually, they want to be left alone. They're sleeping. You get what I'm saying. But, they want to be left alone. So I don't think you had a run-in with a negative entity. Yeah, I believe it was probably spooky as shit.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, again, cemeteries are hollowed. It's hollowed ground.
I also think of, when they said that the creature's head was low. Mm-hmm. And it makes me think, when an animal is doing the warning thing, they'll have their heads lowered.
Right, you think of, a dog or a cat, whenever they're angry, they lower their head. You're right.
Yeah, it's especially specifically dogs. They'll lower their heads
below their shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, that's usually when they give their low warning growls.
Right. That's creepy. It's very creepy. And if anyone tells you that a cemetery is not hollowed ground, they claim to be medium or something, and they tell you that it's not hollowed ground. Untrue. Okay. Untrue. So you guys may have just had a weird run-in with some sort of guardian. And, some of these spirits and things, they do look scary even if they're not bad. Elementals are neutral spirits, and they are scary looking.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are. I think it's because those ones are not human at all.
They look terrifying, but they're not necessarily bad. So, yeah.
I'm sure it was still spooky as well.
Oh, I'm sure. I wouldn't want to run into something like that out in the freaking wilderness or out in a cemetery or anywhere. So, do you have any final thoughts?
Everything that we talked about today it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Especially with B story. There was a lot to unpack there. Yeah. I mean, I've lived in a house like that, not with the same kind of experiences, but just experiences that are not good. Mm-hmm. And it is a lot. Sometimes it can even be life-changing.
Yeah.
Depending on how badly it affected you.
Right. Yeah.
Not to say that the graveyard incident wasn't. I'm sure you're probably never going to go out to the graveyard again in the middle of the night.
There's some distance between you and the graveyard. You know, but when it's a place you have to return to every night, that can be pretty awful.
I am also curious about Lizzie Borden, but maybe we'll talk about her in another episode.
We will eventually talk about her, So that was chapter 2 of our listener library. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, then send us your stories. Send us your scary stuff so that we can do another episode. Hopefully a little bit sooner than we did this one. If you guys enjoy Macabre at Midnight, then I encourage you to check out our socials. We're on Instagram, we are on X, we are on Twitter, and we want you to join our Discord so that we can keep you guys updated. We can keep you guys in the loop on what's going on. Be sure to like, rate, subscribe, comment, anything that you can do to help us reach new listeners. And if you feel so inclined, head on over to our Patreon. Check it out. See if you'd be interested in some of the benefits. And if you guys feel like donating, we would really, really appreciate it. If not, that's okay too. Keep on listening. We will continue to bring you guys new content every week. But that is it for this episode of Macabre at Midnight. We will see you guys next Friday with a new spooky episode. And until then, remember to stay spooky, and we will see you guys in your nightmares.